Humpnostication Proclamation.
Well, howdy, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Humpnostication Proclamation, presented to you by Gup's Corner. Man, I'm very excited to bring in a special guest today. He is the inventor of the world's first cryptocurrency, Man's Coin and Man's Coin Lit. He is also a DFS and poker crusher. He's a bronze medal winner at the Gambling Olympics. And of course, he is very, very rich. The king of YouTube, the one and only Pete Manzanelli, also known as the Manz. How you doing today, brother?
What up, my dude Humps? This is long overdue. That was a beautiful introduction, but don't forget, today you can call me the Trash Man's, dude, and I take out all the trash takes, dude. I put them right in here. If you have a trash take about the Waste Management Open, it goes right in the Trash Man's bag. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to get people some picks to get paid and laid at the Waste Management Open at the TCP Scottsdale.
Mr. Manz, I do not believe I've ever seen this. Do you have kind of a trash bag turban on your head right now?
That's right, dude. Once a year when this this tournament happens, it's by far my favorite tournament in the entire PGAs. And this is kind of, you know, Santa Claus dresses up like Santa Claus at Christmas time. I dress up like the Trash Man's for the Waste Management Open, dude. It's just what happens.
Man, this is so beautiful. I am so excited. Now, I've said for a long time, you know, if the Manz, if Pete Manzanelli were a golf tournament, he would be the TPC Scottsdale Phoenix Waste Management Open, because it is a party, man. Are you ready to talk about it?
I'm ready to do it, dude. I'm ready. I got my 7-iron, dude, and I'm ready to hit these out of the park, dude. I mean, into the fairway. Let me get my analogy straight.
All right, man. So we are going to start you off with a little quiz. I'm going to take it easy on you. I wrote these questions myself.
This should be easy. I consider myself the foremost authority on TCB Scottsdale waste management history. You can quiz me inside and out, dude. I was born for this.
All right. Question number 1. This player has won the Waste Management Open in 2 of the last 3 years. Multiple choice now. Is it Sung J M, C.T. Pan, Sang Moon Bae, Hideki Matsuyama, or Daisuke Matuzaka?
Oh, of course, of course. Well, the thing is everyone knows that it is someone from the East who has traditionally won this tournament. It just plays well for them. And everyone knows that it is, of course, Hideki Matsuyama, the 2-time defending champ, of course.
Oh, the Manz, 1 for 1. I love it. All right, moving on now. This one might be a little tougher. Okay, now this is a true or false question. The son of a walrus won the Waste Management Open in 2014. True or false?
Are we talking about Andy Reid? Andy Reid has a son on the golf tour. You are not sick enough to make up a question like this that's false. So clearly it's true. True. Final answer.
True. You are 2 for 2. That is Kevin Stadler, son of the man affectionately known as the Walrus, Mr. Craig Stadler. Man, you told me you didn't know a lot about golf, but you're doing pretty good. All right, now.
It was all a ruse, dude. I sandbag, you know? Sand trap to sandbag, bud.
The Trash Man is in the house. All right, man. All right, here we go. One more true or false. It's about the legends of the game, the history of the TPC Scottsdale.
Know it inside and out.
Arnold Palmer.
Great drink.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. You mix a little vodka in there, you call it John Daly. You know that, right?
There we go, dude.
Okay. So the Arnold Palmer, the Mark Calcavecchia, Phil Mickelson, and Mr. Tiger Woods have all won this event 3 times. True or false?
3 times each? No, that
Each
is
one of those men.
you know, those are all great men. They are all great golfers, but there's no way in hell they have all won that course. I know it inside and out. There's no way Phil Mickelson's has won at TCP Management 3 times. False.
Well, I got to give you credit because you got it right. It is false. But Mr. Phil Mickelson is one of the dudes who has won it 3 times. The only guy not to win it is Mr. Tiger Woods.
That's okay. That's what I get for yapping my mouth. But the heart of the question, I clearly got right. I went 3 for 3. I am the foremost expert on the TCP Waste Management Scottsdale Invitationals.
This has unquestionably been proven by your prowess of the history of the event. So now what I'd like to do is move on into something that I would like to call today like man's definitions. Because, you know, you're a DFS crusher and there's all kind of terms about golf. So I'm going to spit them out to you and you're going to give me the man's definition. All right?
Sounds good, dude.
All right. The first one, strokes gained.
Now, dude, strokes gained, this is one of my favorite metrics. This is a proprietary metric that a lot of people don't know that for golfers and athletes, but specifically golfers, releasing, or should I say orgasming, before a match is very good for the stroke, for the swing. So strokes gained is my proprietary metric for how many times they whack it off in the clubhouse before going out for a round. And it's how many strokes can you gain on the field. And the more strokes, the more pumps you get, dude, the better of the round you're going to have. It's just science.
This is very true. I love it. Science, you cannot argue with the science. All right, man. The next one is a part of the strokes gain. Doesn't have so much to do with the jacking off. It's a totally different kind of area of it. It's called, and this one will be popular this week, approach.
Oh, the approach, dude. That's what it is for me, man. It's all about the approach. It's all about the chase. I mean, women throw themselves at me constantly. It's not fun. It's too easy. It's all about the approach. It's how you get there. It's about the journey, not the destination. So the approach is all about how do you walk up to that lady at the bar or the man? It's 2019. Okay. How do you walk up to them? Do you have a saunter? What is your gait like? Sorry, my trash bag keeps getting in my mouth. It's how do you, what's the opening line? Do you come out right away and say, girl, are your legs tired because you've been running around in my dreams all day? Or do you take more like a slow approach? So the approach is very interesting and will determine your success rate later into the evening.
So you're saying it's kind of like your gait. I love that kind of a comparison, the approach and the gait. I love it, man. You are very, very sharp, Mr. Manzanelli. All right. This one should be easy for you. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Oh, no, nothing. I'm just, the trash man is struggling with his ensemble.
Honestly, a couple minutes ago, it looked like I was worried about if you could breathe, man.
It's okay. I can breathe, dude. I can breathe. Let's keep the show must go on.
All right, man. Okay. Now, I know you're going to love this one because the man's, I believe, gains a lot of opportunities throughout his just daily life of crushing, man. So this one is a new, kind of a new term, but people are running with it. It's called opportunities gained. That's right, dude. You know, I actually call it opportunities gained, okay? Because this is all about this is actually correlated. I have back tested and it's correlated with approach, and it's about the digits, dude. It's how many digits, ladies' digits, do you get in your phone, okay? Because the approach, you can nail it, but if you don't get those numbers, there are no opportunities to be gained, okay? It's not saying that you're going to get a hole in one. No, it's just saying the opportunity might present itself. So it's all about getting those numbers, putting them in, maybe sending a quick little message to them, just being like, yo, this is Manz. I just met you at the bar, just making sure that they have their number, okay? This is unbelievable. You said it's not like you're going to get a hole in one. Oh, man, I love you, man. God love you. All right, now another one up in your wheelhouse. I know, Mr. You know, you got 2 numbers in your name. It's Mr. Manz. You 69, you 420. Tell me about greens in regulation.
Hang on, I just got to get my vape pen for this question. Dude, where's my vape? Where the hell did my vape go? Dude, this is devastating. Oh, no, here's my vape. Here's my vape. I found it. All right, greens and regulation, dude. So everyone knows about kind of the dark market of weed, dude, and how it's been illegal for so long. And that's kind of like greens in unregulation, dude. But there's a growing movement across the Americas where weed is being legalized in great states such as Colorado, such as Oregon, such as Washington, such as Massachusetts of late. These are greens in regulation, dude. So it's all about where do you get to smoke in a legalized manner. And look, I'm willing to smoke everywhere, but for this metric, it's all about greening and regulation.
All right, man, I got one last term for you here, brother. Now, this is kind of a tricky word, so I'm interested to see kind of what you verify with it. This one's called proximity.
Proximity? Now, this is an interesting question. And this is all, this is going to seem weird, but this is actually about, it's about a photograph, okay? This is about you taking a photo with the ladies for the Instagrams, for the Facebooks, okay? And it's all about how close they actually are to you. Or do you have your arm around them? Are you the guy that's hovering with your arm? If you're the hover guy, that's bad. Your proximity is really bad. No, you want her in snug. You want your hand on the hip, on his hip. It's 2019, okay? So wherever you are, you want to be very close to that lady, and you want the world to know it. The lack of proximity will kill you in the school of the public eye and the public opinions. Be very close to that woman or that man's.
So in a layman's terms, what you're saying is you cannot be a crusher with the improper proximity. Is that my understanding?
That's right. And it stems to everything, dude. If I see a guy and his caddy that are super far apart, I know they're not on the same page, dude. Proximity is everything in life. When you go up to the course official because he's trying to give you a penalty stroke, if you're not 2 inches from his face, telling him your bone you have to pick, your proximity is awful, dude. It's all about how close you can be to the people in your lives.
I love it, man. Man, you are one wild dude. That's why Hump loves you, man. I can't believe we've never done this before. All right. We're going to get into the whole Humpnostication Proclamation piece of this show. So I'm going to give you one from kind of each price range. We're going to start at the bottom, and we're going to go all the way to the top. Now, off air, before we started, just to make sure you were like familiarized with these gentlemen's, I sent you their photographs, various photographs of them, so that you could see them and kind of, just manzify them in your own way. So we're going to start down in the 6,000 range. This guy's a guy who burned me the last time I brought him up on the show. I call him Mr. Rider on the Storm. He is Sam Ryder. Now, let me tell you why I like him, and then you tell me if he's got a shot. He's top 20 in the field over the last 50 rounds for strokes gained tee to green and strokes gained ball striking. Also in approach. More importantly, he's 12th overall in those last 50 rounds in the DraftKings points. We all know you need the DraftKings points to win. Also, he's 13th strokes gained par 5, and he's 10th in that all-important stat that you just talked about, opportunities gained. Mr. Sam Ryder, not getting any love, only 2 tags on Fanshare Sports. What do you think about his chances this week, Pete? Tell me what you think.
Okay, so I love Sam Ryder as a value play this week. I'm checking him out in these photos. He's very tall, which, as we know, there are a lot of feast and fauna on the TCP course. If a chinchilla or a javelina or a roadrunner were to emerge, I trust that his long legs would allow him to get separation, whereas some of these other fatties, dude, are going to get tracked down by a coyote and eaten to the bone. So I love Sam Ryder's height. And you also sent me these photos of him with chicks, dude. And I'm just like, Sam Ryder, more like I'd like to ride her. You know what I mean, dude? So also the Ryder Cup is the name of a very famous international golf competition. He's literally named after a golf competition, which means he's really good at golf. I love Sam as a value play, dude. Jam him in, and then you can get the rest of the studs.
I had never even considerized that he was named after the Ryder Cup. Man, you take this shit to another level, Mr. Mans. Golly, I love it. Okay, moving on. We're going into the $7,000 range. Now, this guy, he's a big fella. He goes by the name Jason Kokrak. Now, there's 2 players in this price range who are already got double-digit tags. My man Kokrak, he's only got 4 tags. So, he's kind of getting ignored. And the funny thing is, over these last 50 rounds, he's top 25 in the field for strokes gained, ball striking, strokes gained approach, and DraftKings points. Tell me what you think about those pictures of Mr. Kokrak.
Okay, you know what's so weird? This guy, he's a burly gentleman here, not too nice on the eyes. His last name literally translates to a place to sniff cocaine. And do you know what he reminds me a lot of? He reminds me of the former Canadian politician and former mayor of Toronto, Rob Ford, who loved him to go skiing down the little bit of nose candy here. I'm looking at him and I'm like, Rob Ford literally translates to Jason Kokrak. Has anyone ever seen Jason Kokrak and Rob Ford in the same spot? I'm worried about this dude. I mean, I'm hearing about these mongoose on the course, these javelinas, dude, the bobcats, the bald eagle. A bald eagle could come down, and I don't think he could pick up Kokrak, but he could definitely pick away at him and live off the meat for days.
You are very interested in the wildlife about that runs around on TPC Scottsdale. I'm glad to see that you've done your homework, sir. You know about all of this stuff, man.
That's right. People forget that the course suffered a monsoon flood on October 5th with 5 inches of rain in 24 hours, which closed the stadium for 3 days. That could be trouble for Kokrak, dude, because if he has to go more than 3 days without getting his coke, dude, he will die.
Okay, moving on now. We're going into the $8,000 range. Now, here's a much more, in Hump's opinion, a much more attractive young man. He's only got 4 tags over at Fanshare. Is Mr. Luke List. Now, the funny thing, Mr. Manz, about Luke List is normalized. Like, he's a real, like a popular guy among the DFS golf community, right? They always want to play this Luke List fella. But this week, for some reason, he's not getting that love. He's 6th in greens and regulation gained over the last 50 rounds. He's 9th in strokes gained, par 5, and he ranks number 1 overall in strokes gained off the tee. Now, we didn't talk about off the tee, but that just means this dude can smash the ball and put it in play. Talk to me about Luke List.
Dude, I love Luke List, dude. Just like classic All-American looks. At first, I was like, is this Jonathan Taylor Thomas? No, this is Luke List, dude. I mean, this guy, I call him Luke BuzzFeed because his last name is List, and BuzzFeed just posts lots of lists. So, yeah, I call him Luke BuzzFeed. Also, I think it really bodes well for him. People forget that at the TCP course, they've actually expanded the desert and the cart path. There's a reroute at number 12, which actually should play into Luke List's hands. He's very familiar with that number 12 hole. And I think this course sets up well for him. I'm looking at a photo right now of him on a beach in water with 3 ladies. 2 of them are really jealous of him showing one lady how to golf right now. And I think that's going to kind of be like Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods and whoever else is playing, Hideki Matsuyama, the defending champ, dude. He's going to look over and they're all going to be jealous at him and his chemistry with both the course and the ladies and hole 12.
The reroute at hole number 12 coming into play for Mr. Luke List. I love it. All right, 9,000 and up. We're going to the big.
Can I remind everybody of a very important fact before they set their lineups this week?
Yes, please do so, sir.
People need to know that both the facility and the tournament are Golf Environment Organization GEO certified, which means that this does protect the animal rights. And if you try to stab a javelina, you will be prosecuted by PETA and the Golf Environment Organization. So be careful out there and don't lash out at any feast or fauna.
This is now, if memory serves me correctly, you have now referenced the javelina 3 times in our broadcast, and Hump does not know what a dadgum javelina is. Have you seen a picture of this particular animal, or
yeah,
what exactly is it?
The best way that I can explain a javelina is think of a wildebeest combined with Jason Kokrak. That's kind of what a javelina looks like.
Oh man, I love it. A wildebeest adjacent Kokrak is a javelina. Oh my God. Okay, where are we at? 9,000 and up. The big dogs. We're getting into the big dogs here. Now, but I gotta find a funny one for the big dog, because this man, he's what I like to call the baby-faced killer. Now, you may not be aware, but Hump has kind of this fascination with Australian golfers. Now, this one is an Australian golfer who I never really talked about before, because he looks like he could be my son. He is Mr. Cameron Smith, 12 in opportunities gained in his last 50. He's not the greatest with all these stroke gain stats, but he's 34th overall in the strokes gained par 5, and more importantly, he's 16th in the DK points over the last 50 rounds. What you got on this very, very young man, Mr. Cam Smith?
Look at, dude, I have a Cam power rankings that I update every year, and I'm going to tell you my top 3 power rankings. I'm going to count up. Number 3, Cam Newton. Number 2, Cam Smith. Number 1, Cam Girls. Okay, so those are my top 3. So like, that's a great finish for Cam Smith, and he has this gorgeous little baby face. He looks like he's the kid from A Christmas Story, dude. He has these big floppy little Dumbo ears. I mean, I haven't seen ears this big since I saw my last javelina out in the wild, dude. I mean, these things are flopping around. I would love to see his aerodynamic score, because I think he's going to be severely I don't know, at a down, the wind is going to work against him, I think, with those ears. But I like him, dude. He's young. He's virile. Dude, you said his opportunities gained. The chicks love him. The grandmas come in and they want to squeeze his little cheeks, okay? I like this kid a lot, dude. I love Australian golfers, dude. I think the climate at the TCB Scottsdale is very similar to what it is in Melbourne at his home club. So this is actually going to feel like playing in his backyard. I love him, dude. I love Cam Smith. He's the second greatest Cam I know, beyond all the Cam girls that keep me feeling not lonely at night.
This is unbelievable, man. So you got him ahead of Cam Newton, just behind the Cam girls. Is that my?
Yeah. And normally I like to be behind the Cam girls, if you know what I mean.
All right, man. Now, I got to tell you something, man. Now, normally in this part of the show, I throw out a little something I call the Humps Hero, where I kind of pickify my favorite golfer for the week, and I don't worry about ownership. I don't worry about none of that stuff. I just say, hey, man, I got to get this guy. I got to jam him in. You know what I'm saying? But I have been so impressified with all of your knowledge about not only the history of the course, but the fauna, or whatever you have called it, the animals that run wild on this course. You also seem to know a lot about the golfers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give to you in a list the 5 highest priced golfers on DraftKings this week. And then you go ahead and just tell me, from your gut, from your man's insides and outs, which golfer you would play out of these top 5. Are you ready to do this?
Dude, I actually am exactly ready, because I just pulled up DraftKings. I got to make a lineup with some of our guys, dude. So I do have it pulled up right in front of me. So let's do this.
Okay, man. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I want to come back to the whole lineup making thing. But let's go through this. No. You're good. Let's go through this. Mr. John Rahm is the highest priced golfer at 11,500. Now this guy went to the University of Arizona, so he's got kind of that local thing. Very good golfer, played well last week. Justin Thomas, I'm sure you're familiar with JT. He's a young buck. He's won some majors. He's really good. Hideki Matsuyama, you already talked about him. You knew that he has won 2 out of the past 3 years. Mr. Xander Schauffele. Now this guy, he a couple years ago, he won the tournament at the end of the year in the FedEx Cup. He kind of surprised some people. Came back a couple of weeks ago. I might have been in Hawaii. I can't remember 5 so good, but he went nuts, man. In like the final round, he like trimmed some crazy lead, shooting a 62 or some nutty thing. So Mr. Xander Schauffele. And then we got Gary Woodland. Those are the 5 highest priced golfers on DraftKings. Which guy you like?
Dude, I think we have to go with my boy Hideki Matsuyama's the defending champ. We all know in golf how important course history is, how important course familiarity is, dude. Hideki Matsuyama, he has been in the trenches. He has fought the javelinas. He has walked down to that 18th green and hit a putt in to win the thousands and thousands of dollars that you win when you win the TCP Open at the Waste Management course in Scottsdale, Arizona. This is his tournament. This is his time to shine. He is the king of the Waste Management Open. I ride or die with Hideki Matsuyama.
I cannot argue with that because the man has indeed fought the javelinas and come out on top more often than not, man. So Hideki Matsuyama, he is the man's maker of the week here on the Humpnostication Proclamation. Play Hideki Matsuyama, defend yourself from all the javelinas, and you will be good. You heard it from the Manz and Mr. Hump. Now,
who's yours, Hump? Who's yours?
Out of those guys, man, I'm telling you, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if this man has ever walked with the javelinas and defended himself, but I'm kind of liking the way this guy Xander Schauffele has been playing the game lately. Plus, he's got a real cool last name. Like, you know, if you're going to go approach the green and all that stuff and get your proper gait in the opportunities gain situation, and you be like, my name is Xander Schauffele, I mean, I think that just kind of puts you up on another level. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think he would ever say to one of his opponents ever, X gonna give it to you?
You know that on golf Twitter, man, that's his theme song. X gonna give it to you.
Of course I know that, dude. I hang out on golf Twitter all day, dude. I'm one of the members, dude, just mixing it up with golf Twitter dudes, just tilting birdies and saying more every time one of my guys gets a birdie because I just want more of them.
You sound like Mr. Ryan Hoji right there, man. X gonna give it to you. That is damn for sure. Mr. Pete, you are a wild man. This has been a good time. I've had a blast, man, and I hope that we can do this again in the very near future. You have been one of the most excellentified, most knowledgeable guests ever on the Humpnostication Proclamation. Until next time, folks, keep your hands up on that wheel, keep your eyes on the prize, and keep your dadgum bums a humping.